Hiya, I wanted to quickly jump on to say about the body healing. There's a lot of discussions on lots of different sites that I follow on Facebook with people feeling very out of sorts, extremely tired, tearful, not knowing what's going on, quite frightening. Frightening because suddenly their life seems to have completely changed and they're getting really, really concerned about this. Very recently, I was healing myself. I've been working on myself for a long time now, and it was peculiar. I had the window open and it was quite late, and I thought I heard some noises, and I thought, oh, that sounds a bit odd, and it was nobody there. And I kept thinking, I wonder why that happened. And then my lungs seemed to be really, I was drawn to think about my lungs, and I could feel this tension. And I said, well, why is this tension there? I don't understand it. And they said terror. So when I say they say, I've talked, my guides are with me all the time, so we work together to heal the body on the inside. I was like, well, what do you mean by terror? They said, that feeling of terror. I said, but I haven't got that in my life. I said, no, you haven't, but you're healing, as you know, a collective pastimes, because once the pastime of healing is healed, it's harder for people to take that generation on. It heals that generation. It doesn't stop what's going on, but it heals your body so that you can advance very fast indeed. And when this happened, they made me feel terror. So I wouldn't appreciate doing it again. I don't need to do it again. But it's not a good place to feel terror all the time. And this is extreme terror. So then ask the question, you're showing me this terror in my lungs and I can feel it. And it made me hypersensitive and hyper alert to all sorts of things, every noise. What is it? What's that noise? Did I hear someone scream? Could someone have screamed? What was going on? There was nothing there. I realised in the end there was nothing there. There was nothing going on. There was no screaming, but my body was highlighting and then giving me blips of scenarios of what terror is, and then explaining that little story to me in my head. And I thought, yeah, I'd definitely be terrified of that one. Oh my God, I wouldn't like that one. And I said, well, in whose life? And they said, this is everybody's life. Everybody over thousands of years has come across terror, usually in large groups, when invading countries invaded their country. Like, we were always being attacked in the Saxon times here by the Vikings, and they came and they raided our country, and then they took people, or supposedly to our history, they murdered us all, and the ones they wanted they took with them to be slaves, to be sold around the world. Most countries that have a lot of water around them are big trading routes. We've been that ourselves. England, where I live in the UK, has done that their fair share. Well, I say their fair share, certainly not on the rape and pillage that happened in this country. We seem to be attacked on all fronts, and then we had all sorts of other things. But these terrors are within our bodies. And every country in the world has had some form of terror, whether have a landslide or an earthquake happen, and you don't know where to go, and how do you find food and shelter, and where's your family? It's all these things make up terror. And they affect the lungs at a molecular level or quantum level. And it's that everyone has in them. So automatically, when something happens, our bodies tense up. And why I was talking to the lungs and asking them, I can understand it now, you're holding on to this tightness, but what else happens? And they said, well, if the lungs can't relax, the heart can't open. And they said at the moment there are lots of people going on courses and retreats, and they want to open their hearts, and they think they are, but they're not opening their hearts at all. That can only happen once the lungs are healed across the whole world. And that's a memory, and it's a very old history. And once that's done, the lungs can relax. They can say to the heart, everything's fine. And the heart can then start to open up as it should do, which means that you will accelerate. And when you accelerate, it's like someone's put you on a fairground ride and they haven't told you that it's going to blast off at 80 miles an hour and you're going to be flung along this super roller coaster. No one's told you that bit. They just said, yeah, no, it's okay. You know, it goes up and down that framework. Yeah, it's fine. But once the whole thing starts going, you're like, oh my God, you're either going to love it or it's going to cause you a few problems of like, I can't stand this and I can't get off, and you're gripping it. You've got your eyes shut. You're praying to every God that you know possible to keep you safe. And when you get off it, you swear you'll never do it again. The others are jumping up and down and can't wait and rush to join the queue. It's going to be like that. You're going to be put all over the place. You might feel extremely tired. Your fatigue will be surpass yourself. You won't want to get out of bed. You'll think you've got some symptom. You haven't. If it comes on really suddenly, you haven't got a symptom. What's happening is you're now accelerating fast forward because your lungs know that's all right. The energy that held you back has now been released and you're on your way. You will probably come across some of the symptoms of the lungs, just so you know what it was, because no one gets away scot-free with anything on the planet Earth, because we have to learn. But not everybody has to learn in depth. You know, you buy a book and some people read from cover to cover. Other people get it and skim through the whole thing. They say I've read it, but they skimmed it. And other people get it and look at it and read a couple of pages and not for me. That's what's allowed to happen now, because the planet's moving and it needs its inhabitants to move with it, because it's us. Every single one of us is going to change the planet as it changes itself. It's a bit like your little child goes to bed at 6 o'clock and at size 5 in clothing or something, and your child has just had a height check and go, yeah, that's all right, you're 2'6", and then they wake up in the morning and they're 3'6". You think, well, how did that happen? But overnight they're changed, and it happens all the time. Well, you can see that when you see a baby, it's got to go from that baby into your size, and you're like, well, how does that happen? How does it happen? God only knows. But that's what's happening now. It's all been set up, and everyone's going to fast forward, accelerate really fast indeed. That's why people are going to be knocked off. They're going to be walking around. They're feeling a bit nausea, feeling this, feeling out of sorts. As I say, very tired. They might feel very tearful because the body's now going to eject all that woe, terror, feeling, pain, horror, whatever. And if you know you're susceptible, like you might watch a horror movie and you go, oh my God, no. Those sort of things, you know you're susceptible to other people's feelings and whatever. Don't get drawn into it. Once you start to get this acceleration going, you must roll with it. If it wants you to sleep, you sleep. If it's all about slowing you down. We've been running too fast for too long, like headless chickens running all over the place. Well, now we're going to have the head put back on and we're going to go slowly. We're not running to anyone's beat. We're running to the beat of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth does not rush. Mother Earth beats at the timing of the womb. So if you go online, YouTube channels, and look up beating of the womb, what it is the blood when it was being passed into the child, the unborn child who's waiting to grow, and there's a beat. It's different from your heartbeat, and you're going to resonate with that. And once you're resonating with that, the earth healing, changing the earth back to what it should be, which was plentiful. The earth once was covered completely with greenery. There was no sand, there was no just rock. Everything was green. There were pastures and trees and fruit and veg, and everything just grew. Every single person became a gardener. Every single person became a farmer. We all looked after the earth, because that's where we're going to get our nourishment. That's where everyone's going to be replenished. The water was channeled off all over the place. Viaducts running all around the world. Huge lakes that we see today would have been viaducted, leading off here, there and everywhere. So everybody had water to drink and feed the plants. And everybody knew how to cleanse that water. There are reeds, just general reeds that you can get. And they go in water and they cleanse it completely. They take away all the stuff and put it back. Watercress, loads of things. Just Google them up. It's our own ignorance, sorry, I can't say it, of not knowing, because we think it's nothing to do with us. We wouldn't lower ourselves. Will you start lowering yourself? If you think you're that high and mighty and you can get oxygen and make it for yourself and you can make water, well then maybe you are high and mighty. But from what I've seen when I do healing on the vast scale of people, I haven't met anybody who's high and mighty yet. I've met people who think they are. And even they've come to visit now to say, well, what can we do? What can we do to help? Because we're losing all our wealth from thousands of years. And I say, well, do what you've always done, I suppose, but you've got to work it out between yourselves. You're not on the same level as me, and I'm trying to heal people, and you've been trying to do anything but heal people. So best you stay in your quarter and you deal with how you think it should be done yourself, and let's see what happens. So that's what they're doing. But it's an interesting world for the rest of us, and the rest of us is literally the world. And to heal it is difficult. But luckily, we're at the bridge of success. It's been healed. The whole planet is now completely healed, and so is the human body and all animal life. It may not feel that way to you, but trust me, it is. But now you're going to walk through just the outside skin of it. Maybe you've got a lot to learn about yourselves. Journal it. So I always found journaling. I still journal to this day. I love it. And I write things down when it comes to me. I think, ooh, and then I look it up and I'm like, wow. How did I know the quantum number of I don't know, if things come to me and I look them up and they're real numbers. And they make something. And what they make is what I've been asking about. I'm like, how did that happen? I don't know anything about quantum physics, but I'm amazed at what comes through to me. We are all capable of that. All of us. As long as we get off the treadmill and we walk slowly. We think slower. Suddenly the world is our oyster, as they say. And it's a magnificent world. I find it really interesting that a lot of the countries who are clearing out the waste products, the plastics and everything, they're the poorest people on the planet. Us humans, we go marching over there with all our money, flash people that we are. Oh, we care about the environment. We do. You don't care about the environment. God, it almost makes me sick when I look at it. I think, well, who dumped all that rubbish then? Who's going to these countries and just tossing their bits of paper on the floor and their Coke cans and any other can or bits of plastic and thinking, oh, well, they'll pick it up. Who's there? It really gets my goat, I must admit. And even when I'm healing on these vast scales and getting rid of all these things, I think, I wonder if the people at the top of that tree who've never, ever thought about anybody else but themselves and their mates, because everyone's less than them, I wonder if they ever think about the actual reality of their words when they go to say, oh, you know, come and join me and this is all good and we can have a great time. We'll let someone else cook for us. We'll let someone else pick up our rubbish. Because we are spending our money and we are being very eco. I just wonder sometimes. But that isn't my game. My game was to come back with a few other friends and actually heal the planet completely so that everybody on it starts off on an even playing field. And they haven't got to go back and do the work. I mean, the work has been horrendous. Horrendous. How human beings can harm other human beings with no regard at all. It's wicked. I mean, I hate to use that word. I brought up a Catholic and they do love that word, wicked. For sure, make you feel bad. But the things I've encountered, the people I've encountered when I've done rescue work, is shocking. And no one really cares. No one. And it's not fair. And it's not on. You can't call yourself eco anything, or you care for the environment, or you care for people, if you really don't. If you really honestly don't, and you're still buying into consumerism, if you're still buying into it and still telling people this is it, you haven't got an eco warrior anywhere near you. All you have is you. The biggest love of all is your lungs releasing your heart, and your lungs telling your heart, I've got your back. And whether we like it or not, we all made it that way. We all came here as soul energies, and we got hold of the human body, and we physically and mentally abused it from the day we came here. You've got stories, some are true, but most are lies. You've got books, massive books that have been written by supposed godlike people, but they don't tell you to look after each other. They don't tell you to love each other. They don't tell you about respect and honesty. They don't tell you to love the woman who gave birth to us all, anywhere. They don't honour the family as a unit. It's all man, 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 man. Well, there isn't such a thing as man, 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 man. And man did not make the world. I mean, it's an energy made the world. A huge matrix mix of energy. People don't seem to realise how intelligent energy is. And they all want to tap into it. They haven't got a hope in hell of tapping into energy. Because most energy just needed to be told, you don't have to do this anymore. Change your colour. And it changed. It's simple. There is such a thing as energy, and that all works together. If it's not working together, it won't work. Not properly. And you can coerce some sort of energy, and you can sort of remodel it. They've done it with nuclear power stations and electric power stations, and you turn the light bulb on. But you don't work like that. The planet doesn't work like that. The universe doesn't work like that. And the darkness that we see in the universe, that's because we put ourselves there. We blew up this planet 3 times because humans have lived here that long. Enough is enough. When I came back here, I was like, enough is enough. The biggest thing I've hated for a long time is the murder of innocent people when people go to war. Who has the right to kill you at any time? Who has that right? And who has the right to judge them? It's very difficult, I know. But unless they're caught red-handed, well, none of us know really what went on. And some people are so vindictive. There are people going to prison who are in prison and they are totally innocent. They've been reported about, they're slagged off on the news, they go for them like witch hunting, and people are in prison for crimes they did not commit. In the wrong place, in the wrong family, and they're in prison. It's shocking. And the people who put them there, like baying crowds of crows, they will pay the price for that. And the people who put them there, well, they already know they're paying the price for that. It's already been, unfortunately for them, and I can see ones here, but I'm not talking to you now because obviously I've attracted the dark side in because I'm talking about them. But things can change. And change they will. Because the earth and whoever governs the massive amount of energy, and it's certainly not me or anyone on this planet, has decided enough is enough. It's listened to the calling, it's listened to the ways of for and against and everything else, and it's gone, yeah, you're right. I went on a crystal course, 2005 I think it was, And I sat with this crystal on the course. Like everyone else, they all saw Native American Indians and with all the feathers and the beauty of these Indian chiefs and what have you. I didn't see that. And when I was going home, I thought, well, I'll study that tonight. And I did see an image. And this image was these mountains in the background. It was just so hot. And I was standing with this lovely Indian man, Native American Indian, and he had long hair and he had it tied back a bit. And he wore this beautiful clothing. I kept looking at his clothing. It was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. These beautiful like leather suede boots he had on, really beautiful dress. And he was pointing out, and I was like, well, what's he looking at? There's absolutely nothing here. It's barren. I can see the heat rising off the ground. What is he looking at? The following day I went back to the course and it poured me rain. I was stuck, so I sat in the car and waited for the rain to stop. Got this crystal out again, sat with it and said, I'm ever so sorry, but I really did not understand what you were telling me. We go back to the image, and he's standing talking, he's looking at me, and then he turns around, he puts his arm up, and the next minute there were trees and buffalo and bison and rivers and birds of all sorts of colours. And we hadn't moved, but he just said, this has all got to be put back exactly as it was. I was like, okay. So we've gone from absolutely barren ground to completely forest-like. As far as the eye could see, this was us. We were standing on one hill or rise, and we were looking 25 miles, 30 miles away. Could be more than that. And the whole area, he said, everything on the earth has to be put back exactly as it was. I was like, wow. And I looked around and I thought, well, how on earth can that happen? I do know there is a guy who started a project off which got badly damaged, and I know he's restarted it. And the only way forward to do it on barren ground is like have these Eden Project glass houses built in smaller quantities and start growing things not on the earth as such, but on water tanks above the earth. I know that's got to happen all over the place, and then as they grow they'll link them together and they'll get bigger and bigger, and eventually the flora and fauna will drive through the hard plateau. The area he asked me to go to was Arizona. I was like, Arizona? So I even looked up Arizona because I live in the UK and I haven't been to that part of America, and I just thought, wow. These very old Native American Indian chiefs are telling me this has got to change. Has to go back. And will. And we all are going to take part in this. Not just in America, everywhere. Where the ground's been completely and utterly destroyed by human beings. And although you might not remember it, I certainly can't, but people have done that. Everyone will start helping the whole planet over. So there'll be massive shifts in the planet. There's going to be earthquakes. There has to be, because they've got to open the ground up to let the stuff come out. And we've got to have water in places that we haven't had water in for maybe 4.5 million years. What's going to happen is going to be incredible, but people will know how to build viaducts, how to make trenches, because there's a lot of science around, but lots of things will go. In the meantime, things are being built that don't appear to be useful to anybody, but the big conglomerate companies. But trust me, when the time comes, they'll be very useful indeed to everybody. And everybody's intelligence will be out of this world. But no one's leaving planet Earth. You can spend as much money as you want on space travel, but until this travel on the Earth has been finalised and made good, there isn't a planet in the solar system that would want us, because we come across as greedy and selfish, uncaring. And we don't want that. It's not a very nice trait for all of us. All of us suffer with it. Greedy and unselfish and not caring. It's not a good trait to have. Most of us want to feel that, oh we're loved. We're special. Well, that's not happening at the moment, because not one of us has tried to replant all these barren countries. The people who have, again, tend to be more native to the country, and they have no money. They've got nothing, but they're trying their best because they know something in their body already knows. It's shocking, really, how people have treated people with less, and yet the people with less are hugely intelligent, far more so than the people with more. It's so sad. I mean, I love some of the stuff that's out there. I look at it and think, wow. People's houses, when you see I don't know, an Instagram page or a Facebook page and someone's showing their house and their lovely interiors and all the rest of it, I'm not jealous by it, but I love it. I love the fact that there's so many creative people out there and they're willing to create more. But it can't be at the detrimental of someone's life. Somebody can't be mining something that's going to kill them just so you can put it on your finger and go, look. No, that's not nice, is it? To know someone's probably died, or several people have died, getting that ring to put on your finger is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Who's going to pay for that damage? That's consumerism. If you're driving it, you will pay for that damage. So will the whole chain that made it. Not the people who, poor buggers, who are having to work for nothing. Who stand in water all day. Water, when it seeps into your body, can cause a thing called, I was going to say, I've forgotten it, foot rot, something, and it's very damaging to the body. People have got to open their eyes up and look at themselves and think, am I really as nice as I think I am? Or have I made people make something for me that I would never in a million years work for that money, ever? And what makes me think I'm more intelligent, I'm nicer, I'm better than they are? Because your body is made up of the same matrix they are made up of. They just happen to be in a different place to you. And they don't want what you've got. Probably their ancestors did what you wanted 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, and they lost it all. Why would you want to go back there again? So we need to change, and we are being forced to change now by the planet. Not by anybody else, but by the planet's energy. The energy will change. You don't change with it. I'm not sure what will happen to people who go, I'm not changing, I'm not. We'll wait and see what happens. But there's a lot to come. Don't be stuck in it. Move with the times. Buy nice things, but when you buy it, build it yourself, if you can. It'd be lovely to think we're all still going to be going out, partying and all the rest of it, but I don't think any of that is in the world programme that they've got set up. I don't think a world that creates is there to be exploited anymore. I don't think that's on the list. I don't think on the list is killing itself, strangely enough. I don't think harming itself is on the list of humanity, because it's part of Earth. You came to a planet that is plentiful in everything beautiful, everything kind, everything's giving. So I don't think the takers are going to have a place. That's the basic line. No more takers. Givers, carers, and ones that look after their human self and are shown how to look after them, because you are always shown. Your eyes are just a trajectory of your human inside body. If you've got a dark side to you, that'll be the dark side you see all the time. Once you're on that side, you're on it. Very difficult to buy yourself out of it. I wouldn't even bother trying. But there are different sides and there are different groups of people. But it's not about taking anymore, it's about giving. And everyone is going to change, whether they like it or not. Find your tribe, decide what you really want, and then run with it. But do not keep moaning about it and telling other people they're horrible or nasty or whatever. It's ridiculous. And your heart might close. And if your lungs close, you are in serious problems once we start raising, because you need to be able to breathe. Different types of oxygen is going to come in. It'll have different minerals in it. All sorts of things are going to change, and you need to be able to breathe. And your heart needs to be able to change frequency up and down and over, all over the place. And it can't do it if you will not let it open. And they are the two most fundamental things that keep you alive. Without your lungs, you don't breathe. Without your heart, you don't beat. It's so important. But there are some fantastic places to go to, retreats, people that run all sorts of courses. My courses are all small. I only have small groups of people, because there's a lot to explain and a lot to help people with. I have too many people, it won't happen. But when I have small groups, I can work with them over a long period of time and give them the help they need and have their back ready for them. But I can't do that with a lot of people. Anyway, I want you all to try and remember that all this strange chaos you're going through and this sleepiness, and you're more tired, you're not functioning as you think you should be, or you're more tearful. It's you, you're changing. You can't stop that change because it's an electronic. It's like you've got a plug in your hand. You want to put the freezer on, or the fridge on, or the gas cooker on, or the whatever it is on, whether you're drawing gas or electric. Your whole body now is talking from the top of your head out about 5 or 6 miles radius. I got the hiccups. So on that hiccup, I'll go. See you next time.